And welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Storytime with Mikey. It's been a long time since I've done a Storytime episode. This series has been dormant for a few months now, I think, because the last episode I did was I talked about my first experience with the paranormal, and then I also talked a little bit more about an experience I had when I was 5 years old. But this episode is a bit of a more hectic episode. It's more of a funny episode, actually. A funny story happened in my life. It took place with, well, the reason why I had this particular background chosen. This is the story of my last family vacation when me and my mother, my grandmother, and my sister and my little baby cousin went to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. We went there in the spring for my spring break vacation. And we rented a cabin in the woods. It was one of those, I guess you call it a luxury cabin, with the hot tub and the nice big waterbed, arcade games inside. It was a very nice cabin. The city in the woods. It was fun. It was enjoyable. At least it was for a while. I have a hair that won't leave my face. There. And the vacation was fine. It was going good. We were there for 2 weeks. On the end of the first week, on the 7th day, my mother and my grandmother, who have a very hectic relationship, they almost can't really stand one another. And they got into an argument. I don't really remember what the argument was about, but they got into an argument, which resulted in them going outside, taking it outside to try and settle it. And when I went outside to check on them, they were fighting one another in the woods. Now, there are many things you expect to see in the woods. Trees, bees, berries on trees, berries and cream, sorry, bears that would rip the flesh from your bones or steal your picnic basket. You don't expect to see, at the time, 62-year-old woman, and at the time, 40-year-old woman fighting. And I mean fighting. And then my grandmother grabbed a big stick off the ground and she swung it like my mother, like she was a piñata. My mother grabbed a stick and a rock, and it was all hell breaking loose out there. There was a brawl in the woods. There was a brawl in the 100-acre woods, and Winnie the Pooh was nowhere to be seen to break this up. Ironically enough, my mother's a big fan of Winnie the Pooh. Why wasn't he there? He could have solved the whole problem. The job, honey. But my family is a bunch of wackos. I'm the one person in the family that is sane for the most part. I'm like the voice of reason. But that day they weren't listening to me at all. I tried to talk to them. They were not listening to me to get my fat ass back in the cabin. So I did. Locked them out. Let them duke it out. So my last normal family, well, my first real family vacation, right in the middle, big fight in the woods. There were sticks being used, rocks being used, words being used, language that I don't want to repeat, words that I didn't even know existed at the time. And this was in 2013, so I was about to turn 18 years old. So I'm in high school, and it's just madness. But kind of a short episode, but I hope you enjoyed this return to Storytime with Mikey. This is just a story that I wanted to tell because it was just so stupid. So stupid that an argument, I don't even know what it was, but if I remember correctly, it was over a minor thing, as most of their arguments tend to be, that it came to blows. It's nonsense. Absolute total nonsense. I haven't been back to Tennessee since then, because after that I didn't go on any real vacations. The last vacation I went on was in Florida. I went to Orlando for my uncle's wedding, and that was in August of 2018. I might tell a story about that eventually, but I'm just happy to get back to this story time series. I've been wanting to do it for a while, just didn't know what to talk about because there's so many stories I have in my life, so be prepared. This series is back. I'm happy it's back, giving you all more content, getting to tell you about my completely dysfunctional family and all the stories I have to tell. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Or, by the way, follow me on TikTok, link in the description box. Cheers.